Yes. So we are recording right now. First session, Amy Secada, amazing movement artist. You like that better, right? That's what I am, because like even dance is like putting it into a box, you know?
That's right.
And yeah, she's got some tightness in her upper back on the left side, somewhere here by the rhomboid, which it's already starting to release. So let go of your shoulder. Take a deep breath in again, and exhale. And so, Amy, don't be surprised if this releases for good and in seconds.
That's
okay?
why I'm here.
Yeah, because we're working with the brain and the nervous system here, so it's very different than digging into the body with massage and acupressure and trigger point work and all these other modalities that you probably tried, right? But this is a little bit different because this is working from within. So your body's healing itself and self-correcting by way of your brain and your nervous system. And so your body's releasing itself. And so that's why this is very gentle. It doesn't have to be forceful, because your body's just healing itself, and I'm just positioning your bones into a specific position of ease and comfort, and then your body just self-corrects. And now, seriously, that's all gone. You can move it around and feel it, but I don't feel anything else there. Maybe you can check, though, and see if there's anything else that you feel, any more tension in that area.
It's kind of like it's pressing on like a nerve or something.
Can you get specific with where you feel it?
It already feels better.
Yeah, it feels better. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you it's gone. But it's in your head that you've had it for so long. How long have you had it for?
Like 3 years.
So,
Yeah.
so I want you to open up to the
Okay.
possibilities of it gone right now, and that it's no longer there. And if there's still some phantom pain, which you might feel because you have had it for 3 years.
Yeah. I
Just
wouldn't
know
doubt
that-
the phantomness.
Huh?
I wouldn't doubt the phantom.
Yeah, so then maybe just try to doubt that. try to like not bring in, try to not look for the pain pattern. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
And instead just see if you can just feel into your body. Does it feel better? And see if you can feel if there's any tension still there. Try to pinpoint it.
Yeah, around.
Right there? Yeah, there's another contraction right there. So these are just soft tissue contractions, and basically what we're doing is we're putting, again, her body into a position of comfort and ease, and then it's going to release itself. Now, how does that feel? Check into it. Don't force any stretches, though. Just feel. Just see if you can feel into it. Maybe press into it with your hand, and just gently, like, feel into the body without looking for.
Wow.
It's gone, right?
Yeah. It's like what the fuck?
Yeah, so, okay, it feels like magic. She's going through this experience. The first time that I got this work was the same thing. I was like, what the fuck? How is it possible that just released so quickly? Again, because it's your body released it, and you've never had somebody put your body into this position. It's a very precise position, but again, sends a signal to your brain that it's safe to let go, and then your body self-corrected on its own, and that can happen in seconds, right? You still feel something there?
I mean, it's like, what is that? I don't know. I feel like
Right there?
it's like this.
Maybe there's another contraction. There's a bunch of stuff here, right?
Yeah,
so
but
many
there's
different
a
muscles. Yeah.
lot in that space. It's been
Yeah, and it's been for 3 years, you said,
yeah,
right?
long time.
Long time, okay. So then sometimes it'll just take a little bit of just going through each individual muscle, each individual muscle fiber, and releasing the tension. And it doesn't take long, as you can see. Each knot can release in like 5 seconds or less, because again, I'm working with your body rather than on your body. And because I'm not using force and just digging into the exterior, I'm actually working with the actual, I guess you could say, circuitry, right? The nervous system, right? The circuitry board, right? Rather than just working with the actual hardware. So it's working with the software, I guess you could say, if you think about it that way. Good, now just let it integrate by moving it around a little bit and feeling into it now. It's getting better, right?
It feels lighter.
Lighter. More mobility on the left side now?
Yeah, it feels a little, I still feel the muscle like tight, but much, much lighter than it was.
Okay. Alright, lay down on your back. Actually, lay on your side onto the shoulder.
On this side?
Yep. Give me this pillow. I love your ink, by the way. It's really nice. Always nice to work with nice ink. Deep breath in. Exhale. So what I'm doing here is basically just continuing with the releases by, again, very precise positioning, which then tells your body it's safe, I can let go, right? And then it just releases in seconds. So we're working to gently restore the balance and the ease in your body. And because you've had it for 3 years, your body is kind of used to it.
Exactly.
So, so it's sort of like we have to see if we can gently remind the body that it's okay. I know you've had this for a while, but you can let it go. You no longer need to be holding so tight and like with like this clenched fist of fear. Does that make sense? And so when did this start for you 3 years ago? What was going on in your life around that time? Do you remember at all?
A lot of computer work.
A lot of computer work.
Starting my business and then being on the computer, which I'm a dancer, I usually don't do that. So never hurt myself dancing, but I hurt myself on the computer. I think it's like a posture thing. I'm 36, I don't know how to type right.
Yeah. But you know what? What if I told you that...
Oh, I feel that.
Yeah, that's contracted for sure. What if I told you that most people, including yourself, feel that it's a posture thing and a computer thing, but I believe that it's actually an emotional thing.
Oh, I definitely believe that.
So in other words, like the computer, the posture, even lifting something heavy, like a specific action, that those are triggers, right?
Yeah.
But they're not the cause. So I really do believe that the cause is usually psychosomatic. In fact, it's usually anxiety or anger of some sort or frustration
Definitely
that
agree.
we're not expressing, right? And so what's interesting is you're a mover, right? So when you move your body, you're expressing, you're releasing the energy. But when you sit in front of a computer, you're not moving the energy. So it's very possible that it's just the emotions building up and getting stored in your body, and then all of a sudden you have physical pain, and you think it's because of the posture or the sitting at the computer or not moving, the lack of movement. But I think it's not the lack of movement and lack of circulation, because that's part of it. I think it's more the lack of movement of energy.
I feel that.
Yeah. So I always say, like, what was going on in your life around that time? So let's say before you started sitting at the computer, did you have some sort of emotional episode or situation
Definitely
or trauma?
fear, like starting a new business, and
Yeah.
like there's definitely a lot of fear. It was scary.
Yeah. So starting a new business, in our body, what that looks like is like a clenched fist, right? Like a tight clenched fist or tightly wound up muscles, which is basically armor, right? Our muscles are like our armor. And so it could be that, right? And so I think rather than just treating the physical body and releasing the physical tension, which we're doing here, we also want to look at what's the actual cause and see if you can kind of connect that, right? And find a way to bridge that gap between the mind and body, because they are one, and essentially our mind, our body is actually our unconscious mind. It's just a reflection of what's going on for us unconsciously. So as soon as we realize that, we can actually heal. Because most of us are looking at the body as this machine, and like, oh, I have pain in my body, so it must be physical. But usually that's not the case. I find with over 90 to 95% of my clients that I work with, it's actually psychosomatic. And that's just from the last 12 years doing work with people's bodies. I think I've worked with over 10,000 bodies by now. It's a lot of bodies. So like I would say, honestly, for me, again, it's anywhere from 90 to 95% of the people, the cause is coming from the emotional thing. the emotional aspect. However, I can't prove that because science.
How do you release that emotion in the muscle then?
So the way that I release that, so other people can release it through movement and yoga and things like that and meditation, but if it doesn't release from that, then the way I do that is actually by digging into the area of the tension, of the emotional blockage, and making your body aware that it's holding, and then you start to feel the emotions and you start to release them. So we can do a little bit of that with you.
Yeah, make me cry.
Let's do it. Why not? Crying is a release. It's a great thing. It's an emotional release, just like, you know, any other release, like even sneezing or coughing or, you know, orgasm. All these different things are actually releases that are natural, normal, physiological mechanisms in our body. And if we don't let any of those happen, the energy needs to go somewhere, and it doesn't go anywhere. It gets stored in our body, and that's when we have illness, pain, disease, dysfunction. So we always have to ask ourselves, when's the last time I danced, which is movement, right? Moving moves energy as well, and also releases energy. When's the last time I sang? Singing is tremendous, right? Just like singing mantras and yoga and things like that, right? When's the last time I cried? When's the last time I don't know, farted? You know? There's all these different things, like, you know, I mean, even passing gas, like it's releasing, right? It's releasing something from the body, and so we need to be doing these things regularly. Maybe not passing gas like in public, but you know, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? You kind of get the point. It's feeling way better. There's something going on here. So what happens when the upper chest is tight, like right here? What's happening is it's causing your shoulder to be pulled forward, which then causes your upper back to compensate and contract to try to pull your shoulders back. So it's really important to correct that.
Do you believe in adjustments?
Like a chiropractic adjustment?
Yeah.
Not really, because they don't last. It's very temporary. It's also forceful, so it's actually going against our body and against nature rather than with. So like this technique, for instance, goes with nature, with the body, with the holistic principles of homeopathy, which is what I love, because the body heals itself. Whereas the chiropractic adjustment is like, let me fix you, let me force this, let me realign it, and then the body doesn't really last and stay like that in that position because it goes back to its old patterns. It's less likely to stick, right? So, however, some people do say, they swear by it and they say it helped them, but it's just, it goes against my principles, so I don't really like it very much, but you know.
I feel like that it helps me in the beginning, but then, like you said, the muscle will pull it back to.
Yes. So I think the only way to get a really good adjustment is if you release all the muscles and the fascia, then adjust, and then hopefully it will last, you know, and actually stay. But most people don't do that, unfortunately. So let's have you lie face down now. Just turn your head to the side. Yeah, I think it's also just a different principle of healing with chiropractic work, and so I just prefer to stick with the principles of healing of, you know, homeopathy and just like cures like, and the body can heal itself, rather than using some sort of outside force, you know. However, in my emotional release stuff, I use force, but it's different. The intention there is to make your body aware that it's holding, and then it releases the tension on its own. Does that make sense? So it's very different than, like, let's say deep tissue or chiropractic or something that's forceful. It's more of like a way of engaging the tissues, like this one right here. Yeah, so this is emotional. You feel that, how different that is? It's very intense. Yeah, it's gonna be painful. So that pain that you're feeling and experiencing is just sensation. It's just intense sensation. And the reason why you feel it is because it's blocked. It's blocked energy. Yeah, so let out the sounds. Let out the sounds. If you feel like you want to scream even, it's part of the process. Believe it or not, that's also a release, right? I know, it's really intense. This is the complete opposite of most of the work that I do. Again, for the emotional release aspect of the work, it does require us doing this.
That's not on the other side?
No, interesting, huh?
What?
Yeah. So this pain that you have right here, again, this is an emotional blockage, But the right side is masculine, so it's relationship to money, finances, and power. So whatever's not flowing in your life in that aspect, or maybe even from your past, doesn't have to be now, right? It could be in the last year or two even. But this is just a place of blockage of that. Does that resonate?
Why is the pain on the other side then?
So the pain is just a symptom. The cause is something totally different. So what we say in myofascial release work and in the work of John Barnes is that we look for the pain, we look elsewhere for the cause. The pain is just the check engine light going on in the car. Doesn't mean that we have to switch off the check engine light in the car. It means that we have to check the engine. So the pain is just like, hey, check my body, check what's going on, check my life, what's going on in my life. Right? It's not at all ever the problem. If we try to release the pain, that's actually an issue, because the pain is there to teach us something.
Right.
It's there as medicine. It's sacred medicine for us. So if we release our pain before we actually learn from the lesson of that pain, we're actually not benefiting, we're not profiting from that pain. I believe we should profit from our pain. In other words, not just like erase it and take a pill and like do something to get rid of the pain because it's uncomfortable, but to actually grow from it. Right? Our pain is our teacher. And so what is this teaching me? What am I learning from this? So like right now, I'm pressing in your right shoulder. What are you learning about yourself and how you hold your emotions in your body, right? What are you learning about your life? Like, oh wait, where's the energy not flowing in my life, right?
Yeah.
Because again, where energy doesn't flow in our body, it's a reflection, simply a reflection of where the energy doesn't flow in my life.
Is the upper back, there like different parts of the body that are connected to like different things? Like is that something you notice? Like, oh, if they have pain in their upper back, that means it's blah blah. Like,
yeah, so upper back is usually stress, you know, and it just seems to be like the area, from my experience, where a lot of the things start, because the back of the neck is here, and then you have the spinal cord here and the nerves, and so for some reason it always starts with the upper back. It's a very commonly tight area also because of people's upper cross syndrome, where people are like hunching over devices, so that's a part of it as well. It's societal, right? But I think it's just like an easier area for us to hold on to stress and tension. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, a lot of people, it's the lower back. So lower back pain a lot of time is this anger or this anxiety that we're holding in our body and we're suppressing. So it just depends. Everybody's different. And I try not to put like blanket statements on a lot of things because I don't really know, you know?
Right.
It's really hard to figure out. Like some of those charts where they show like the emotions that are stored in different parts of the body, like I don't know how accurate they are, you know what I mean?
Right.
Turn your head to the right if you can. Deep breath in. Exhale. And inhale deep. And go, ah. It's getting better, right?
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna go in again because there's dense layers of armor here that you've been putting up for a while. So we're gonna just go into that, alright? I know it's intense. Just bear with it. Because we're going right into that, the center of the contraction. I know. Feel it, let it go. I let go. I know. There's definitely sounds that your body wants to make, so just I feel sadness. What do you feel? Just feel it. Just feel it. Some anger too. Different layers of emotions. Just feel them. It's okay. It's okay. Just feel fully. You have full permission to feel. I let go.
Did it? You made me cry.
Yes, I did.
Bottomies.
Feel it. Feel it, sister. Feel it. Feel it fully. Let it go. Yeah, don't worry. This is recording, so we can always cut it out if you feel like.
No, it's great.
It is great. Isn't it great?
Uh-huh.
A child cries, 2 minutes later they laugh, right? We gotta let the energy move through us.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what it's all about, right? It's all about feeling, because that's what being human is. To feel fully. Vulnerability is courageous, it's strength. Just as we're learning so much from Brene Brown, right? She got all this research about vulnerability. I love it. So important. And I tell you, so many guys who I work with are like, they're so afraid to feel and to cry, and it's so amazing. It's such a blessing to be able to share with them that gift, to be able to bring them back, to be able to cry in front of another man and be okay with it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and I have to tell them, I'm like, bro, it's okay. I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. Like your parents, your father judged you, your friends in school judge you. I'm not judging you. Feel it. I'm giving you permission. Feel that shit. Let it move you through you,
Yeah.
It's not at all a sign of weakness. We are warriors, and this is part of being a warrior. It's being vulnerable, being human. Otherwise, we're putting up so much armor for the war, and when we're not taking it off after, we got to soften up again. Otherwise, we can't just walk around being like a hero all the time, and just putting up so much armor.
Right.
Once the war is over, like, take off your armor, like Game of Thrones. It's like, take that shit off. No more war. Now it's about love, right?
Right.
About connection, about opening our hearts. We can't open our hearts if we're walking around with this fucking armor around our heart, right?
Yeah, that's real.
You gotta take it off. We're always afraid of having someone stab us in the heart, right?
Right.
But it's sort of like, wait, there's no more war now. We're not fighting right now. There's no swords. Take down the armor. Release that shit. Open your heart. Hug people with an open heart. Connect people with an open heart, looking into each other's eyes. Have a deep connection. This is how we're going to grow as a society, and how we're going to support each other and have less wars, right?
Right.
So what do you think that was about? What do you think those tears were about?
Definitely money.
Yeah.
Definitely financial stress.
Yeah. Yeah. So isn't it great that you get to let that shit go today?
Yeah.
You get to like, step into abundance.
Yeah, just like
right?
envisioning my whole new reality and, just letting like struggles from the past, like let it go. Like it doesn't have to repeat itself. The patterns don't have to repeat.
They don't. You can let them go right here, right now. I let go, I let go, I let go, I let go of all my patterns, I let go of all the judgments, I let go of all the thoughts and beliefs that I have around money. I get to step into abundance.
Right.
I get to step into prosperity. I get to realize that money is just energy, and it can flow to me easily and abundantly.
Right.
Right? And that's a struggle I had too. I feel like we all go through that, right? And it's like we have this struggle of like realizing, wait a minute, money in, money out, sort of like energy, sort of like our breath, but sometimes like we're like, there's not enough of it, not enough breath coming in, right? So then we try to hold our breaths.
Right.
And then we're like, and then we can't breathe. But I'm like all about, no, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, keep going, money in, money out. My dad taught me that. He's like, lost $800,000. Okay, oh well. And I'm like, what? I'm like, Dad, you just lost $800,000. He's like, it'll come back. It's just energy. It flows in and out,
Right.
in his own way, in Lebanese accent, like, but basically, like, that's the thing. It's like he understands that in life, everything is temporary, and especially with money, everything is temporary. So in one moment you can be a millionaire, and the next moment you can be broke. But if you have the understanding that it's just energy, then you're going to have it keep coming in and out. And the more that you give it, the more you give it out, the more it comes back to you.
Right.
And nobody gets that either, so people get stingy, right?
Yeah,
They try to hold on to it. But the more that you actually donate to charity and to help others, you're putting the energy out into society, into the world. You're serving with love, with energy, right? It is a form of love. It's energy, right? And so when you give love, you get it back in some way, usually tenfold, right?
Right.
And maybe not even now, but eventually. But we can't like judge the universe and God and spirit like when it's going to come back to us. We just have to have faith.
Right.
That's what it's all about, having faith and knowing when you're doing the right thing, you're going to get paid for it. Something that worked really well for me is each time I pay somebody, I'm like, may this come back to me tenfold for the good of all humanity. You know, it's like kind of like a statement that I say to myself, which really supports this like giving and giving it out, knowing that it's going to come back, so that I can support others with it. Because the more that I have, the more I can give, the more I can help others.
Right.
When we set that intention on making money, then we can make more money and we can be less egoic about it, right?
Right.
Less self-centered, less self-serving. So it's not that money is the root of all evil at all. It's just that money is just energy. And that's it. And you can make it what you want. You can make it good energy or bad energy. You know, good vibes or bad vibes. It's just neutral, like all energy. People are like, oh, do you feel bad energy? I'm like, I feel heavy energy. I don't know if it's bad. It's just heavy. But without heavy energy, you have no light. Right? Without darkness, you have no light. So it's sort of like, okay, I feel it. All good. Don't be scared of it. Some people in the New Age communities are like scared of like entities and negative energy.
Right.
Like, no, not me. My light's so bright,
Right.
that's just not going to tap into my world.
Right.
You know? It's like, that's how I like to see things, instead of walking around in this fear of being worried of like picking up negative energy. This is feeling way better, right?
Uh-huh.
Deep breath in, exhale, soften the shoulder even more. Okay, lay on your back, please. Feeling into your back. What does your back feel like? Your upper back.
It feels really good on the side you released. It still feels kind of like, it's hard to explain. It feels like there's this constant need, like almost like a muscle pressing against a nerve or something on the left side. It's like a constant,
here?
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So if there is a contraction here, it could be compressing on some of the nerves that are part of the thoracic outlet. So it has to do with the nerves that shoot down the arms. You know, like the ulnar nerve is towards the pinky, and then you have the median nerve in the middle, and then. So I think it's like, do you ever have any numbing shooting down the arm? No, right?
I mean, no.
Yeah. So it's just maybe it's just like some pressure on the nerve.
That's what it feels like.
But not enough, yeah, but not enough to like have any numbing shooting down your arm, which is a good thing. So it means it's not contracted, not too contracted. It could just be pressure in your fascia as well that's causing tension on the nerve, you know? So it'd be good to just release the fascia in that area. That's where I use different technique of like just holding into your upper body for a little while, like 5 to 15 minutes without really moving very much. It's a totally different modality and technique.
Could I do that at home with a ball or something?
You could try. It's not going to be the same, but you can try. You can definitely try. You would just dig and hold and wait, but you wouldn't do it forcibly. Forcefully, you would just do it like, it would be like this. It would just be like this gentle, like,
Like if I laid on top of a ball and just
like
stayed there.
A soft one. Yeah, so not a hard one, because if it's too hard, what's going to happen is your body's going to protect itself, because it's, the protective mechanism is coming in. So the fascial system is basically like like our armor as well, and it's sort of like there to protect us. And so if we're digging in too deep or too forcefully, or if it's not soft enough, it's like a metal tool. Like what happens is our body's like, fuck no, and it tenses up. Even though it's unconscious, we're not trying to do that. Our body's just like, I'm not going to release.
Right.
So I recommend using something soft and gentle, and just digging and causing this like very gentle engagement of the fascia, just like that. You see, so it's not deep because the fascia is like superficial. And you just hold that and you wait for 5 to 15 minutes and let it just unwind. But you do have to wait for at least 90 seconds because that's when the change begins to happen.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just affecting
very
temporary.
Deep. Even when I have like people try to work on it, I feel like they never even get to it.
Yeah. So maybe it is the deeper layers of the fascia. So, but what's cool about working superficially is that it actually affects the deeper layers as well. Because the body's sort of like, you want to think of it as like a lake. You touch the top of the water, you're connecting to the deep layers as well. But you just have to know how to engage it.
Right.
It's not like gonna happen if you just go like this.
Right.
You have to actually engage the tissues and then just let the body unwind from the inside out.
Right.
That's what it's all about. It's just let the body unwind from the inside out. And then so even if it's really deep, that can release on its own when we stimulate the body's self-corrective mechanisms in this way. Yeah, you can try with the ball, again, soft one, and then if it doesn't work, we can always continue and do some more work and see. And actually do more fascial work there. Your neck, let's see what's happening there. Everything's connected, so we want to look at everything. In fact, there may be something in your leg that if you release that, it'll release your whole upper back. So it's kind of hard to say. It's very complex, the body. It's not so simple. Like I've had one client, I was working with her upper back on the left side for like, I don't know, weeks. And then all of a sudden, like I worked with one spot in her leg and it released the whole upper back. I was like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. Because it could just be a fascial restriction, and with the fascial restrictions, we don't know where they are. They can be anywhere in the body, and that's just like the area that's being pulled. Does that make sense? And as soon as you release the line of pull, it just releases the area of pain. It's like a sweater, right? Like a sweater being pulled in like one area, but it like you can see like there's like a pull somewhere else, right? But you know that the pull is in one spot. It's kind of how it is. It's like this fabric. Like a web, and it's everywhere when it comes to the fascia. Okay, that's much better now in your neck. Let's see. Something about the leg, might as well check that and see if that's gonna help. Deep breath in. Notice how your breath is going deeper now. Do you feel that? Much more space within the lungs. Open up some space in your upper back for sure.
So you working with like pressure points now?
Yeah, so now I'm actually still just working with just releasing contractions. So I don't really think about pressure points. I just think about where is there a contraction and how can I soften it. So I'm just all about like keeping it really simple and just slackening the areas of tension so that the body then self-corrects and releases. So I don't really think about pressure points and things like that. Sometimes I do, but that would be more like acupressure or trigger point or stuff like that. This is more of a just like keep it really simple, get the body to release its own tension, where are there contractions. I'm also feeling some fascial restriction here. In other words, like right below the skin, you can feel how there's not a lot of soft tissue mobility. It's not really moving very much, not enough give here. So that would be like a good thing to do is to work with fascial release work here. But I would engage the tissues, it would be directly over the skin, engaging the tissues in a way like this, for instance, and I would hold this for 5 to 15 minutes. Literally not moving and just holding this. And movements that I would do are very small, just following the body's unwinding process. Does that make sense? So it's about really tapping into therapeutic artistry to feel gently and intuitively feeling what's going on underneath the skin here. How is the fascia melting and unwinding? And that took me months to learn, believe it or not. It's like, it's not an easy thing to learn, to tune into like that, you know. And to also be gentle, right? And to not use force, because we're so used to just trying to force our way through. That's the issue with working on ourselves too, which I find as a movement artist as well and dancer, is just like, okay, I want to release this tension so I can get back to doing what I'm doing. And so there's this intention of releasing the tension, but that becomes me being in tension.
Right.
So like I'm trying so hard, I have such an agenda to try to heal myself that it doesn't work because I'm not being kind and compassionate and loving with my body. It's sort of more just me trying to fix myself.
Right.
And that doesn't work. And so it doesn't work for me. So like I try to, that's when I go get a treatment from a therapist friend of mine and like have them do it, you know. But I've tried many times when I tried to heal myself and I had difficulty because of that. So it's like we have to make sure that when we are self-treating, that we're being really kind and loving and gentle and patient with ourselves. I think the patience is the issue, right? It's like we're not patient with ourselves, and then we come in with too much force, and then our body just like, fuck no, I'm not gonna release, you know? It's an interesting thing, right? And I can't tell you how many times my rib came out of place, and I ended up like, being like, I could just fix that myself. And I'm like, nope, I couldn't. And I literally had to get like my friend to do it or something and guide them and tell them what to do, and just so I can really let go and let the person kind of support me, right? Because otherwise it's hard to support ourselves if we have this energy of I need to fix myself. Our body's not gonna be able to relax. Even after my knee surgery, like I couldn't sit up and work on my own knee because my body was tensing, because even just sitting up is contracting the fascia.
Right.
So it's like I had to like just give in and actually get treated. I think when it comes to the body, the more that we keep it simple, just like a medicine man from, I don't know, Peru, let's say, would be like working with the body. He's not thinking about muscles or fascia. He's thinking about like energy, yeah, and like what does it feel like, and how can we soften this, and how can we make the body feel safe, and how can we follow these certain principles of healing and apply them to the body work. You know? So I try to keep it real simple. I think it's so much better when I work with people, when I train, let's say, massage therapists, and they get too heady about it. I'm like, no, don't do that. Especially if it's a physical therapist, they get so heady about it. I'm like, nope, just feel it.
That's like a trained dancer.
Yeah, exactly. A trained dancer is going to have a hard time to get intuitive.
That your brain will never understand it. The only way you can understand it is to just not try to understand it.
Yeah.
Just feel it.
Just feel it. Exactly. Exactly. It's the same exact thing. Yeah. That's why I think the best kind of choreographers are ones that like actually start with like just intuitive movement. Right? And you did that in your class once, right? It's like you start with that. It's just like move, and then it's like, okay, just feel it first, right? And then it's like, all right, let's go through the steps, you know? Deep breath. Exhale. Good. We're releasing here, upper chest. Feeling into that, how there's a contraction right there. Feel it letting go. I let go, I let go, I let go. There it goes. Deep breath in. Exhale. I'm going to turn over for one more minute. We're going to do a quick sacral release in the sacrum. And then we're done for today. Give the body a chance.
I just want to go home and sleep.
Yeah.
Cancel today.
Yeah, because the thing is that this is going to put you deep into relaxation.
Oh, it's good though.
Yeah, it's really good. It's getting you out of that fight-flight, right? Into just chill mode of healing, relaxing, quiet mind, right? Good, we're realigning your sacrum a little bit, just see if you can feel that. So now I'm working with bone and joints, very different than just muscles and fascia. It's going to help release all the way up to the neck because it's all connected. So you can feel those subtle sensations. See if you can feel how it doesn't want to go this way, but it's going this way.
Oh.
There's like a rotation here to the left. Ooh, there it goes. So now, it goes both ways.
Wow.
Yeah, it actually moves now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's gonna help your Afro dance.
Kundalini activate.
Yes. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Yes. Please, guys, subscribe to my YouTube. Check out.
You guys gotta try this.
Check out her stuff as well. Please leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have any questions. And thank you for subscribing.